deal. And so like you see Uzi like smiling and nodding, Bwipo just does like the like very typical Bwipo like extended frown nod. They're like, okay. Yeah, it's 3 Bears games. You thought I wasn't gonna play Hecarim. You were right.
Now this will be a pretty good one. I do think, again, you know, these are all kind of somewhat similar matchups where, you know, Bwipo wants to get in on top of them, wants to be able to kind of threaten that lethal damage. I do think Renekton can be very devastating for these marksman picks, you know, especially if you can go Shojin. You know, if you can actually get Shojin and have, you know, that 100-0 fight with that where you get multiple Ws out, I think that's pretty much unwinnable for a marksman. The question is, can you actually get to that itemization without, you know, making pit stops for a bunch of Dorans to survive? And can you actually close the gap onto Uzi here? So I'm very interested to see the summoners. You know, is it going to be double combat? Is it going to be double flash? I'm guessing we're going to both get flash. We'll see if that's the case.
Ignite, cleanse versus flash barrier.
Okay. So I want to say, did Uzi run? Yes.
Yeah, he
did against.
He was running cleanse against Ignite Renekton the last time he won, and this is actually kind of smart by Bwipo. Although you can still make it happen, right? You can again
stagger it.
Wait for the cleanse on the stun, then ignite. You get the healing reductions, pretty valuable. But in this case, yeah, he's saying, nah, I don't need upfront damage. I need to survive and play the longer fight, which works for Hecarim. I don't know if it works for Renekton. It will if it's Shojin Renekton, which he has the components for, but it could also just be Cleaver.
Yeah, it could be Cleaver, but I don't think so. I think it makes, you know, not as much sense. And after having talked to Bwipo, you know, he has kind of thought about this stuff, thought about the fact that, hey, Black Cleaver maybe not really as needed because a lot of these people aren't stacking armor. When you're going up against marksman, people are just building Black Cleaver because they're on autopilot. So we'll see if he can actually get to Shojin. One of the difficulties of Shojin is saving enough money for a BF buy, right? And feeling like, okay, well, can I actually survive long enough and farm long enough to be able to get to that mark?
Dodge the E. That's pretty big. Gets the empowered stun. That's big damage, and Uzi's got to take the slow walk back to his side of the map. And that's one of those situations where, like, actually, it turns out if you got Ignite, you'd at least force the cleanse and get a little tick of damage, but Bwipo suddenly has lane priority.
Yep, but either way, you're going to be feeling really happy about it, right? You're going to be feeling really happy about the fact that you actually got a dominant enough trade that it wasn't just Uzi pushing you back on the end of it and then gaining minion control. Going in.
Wow! Jeez, flashed for the empowered stun, trades it with the cleanse.
I actually really like that trade because I think that now at level 6, there's a timing when you hit 6, you have no flash, but he has no cleanse. If he ever approaches the wave and you E on top of him, I think he's just dead. Because with your ultimate, if you've gotten in on top of him and you land the stun, you don't actually need that flash anymore. You can just take him down. So great couple early minutes here from Bwipo, who I think is playing this out so smart. And I'm going to be curious to see what the buy is. Does he have enough gold? Okay, so he could just be sitting on the rejuve, be grabbing that longsword to go towards Shojin. It could also be something like Tiamat, but I think he would have had more gold, so I think he could have potentially picked up a second longsword. I'm not really sure exactly where he's sitting gold-wise because the cannons are worth so much. It's a little bit confusing.
All right, well, moving up forward as the wave gets cleared away, Uzi actually comes out of this one with a pretty nice set of CS. No armor health on his build just yet, and again, that's always something that I'm concerned about because I really do think Jarm's Fist is awesome. But he is not going for the more defensive build. He's gonna pretty much hope he can survive the sort of Renekton initial damage onslaught as Uzi shoves the wave down, Bwipo sits in the wave,
He just needs 6, and then he could go. If Uzi steps up, I think there's the potential.
Yeah, well, now nothing to slice and dice through, so he's got to wait at least for this wave to come in. Uzi, of course, sitting on the far side, but how much are you willing to risk this? Base move speed, of course, is higher for Renekton.
Yeah, I mean, it's scary, right? You know, this is a Varus with Ignite and Ultimate up. Definitely, if Bwipo has that buff, you could look for it. Not able to catch him just yet, so you know, if you go for that all-in and you fail with ult there and ignite there, Uzi can return so much damage and potentially just burst you down. So, of course, it is very scary, but Flash is a longer cooldown than Cleanse. So, you know, if you wait too long, pretty much now you have to wait for your Flash before you try again because Uzi is going to have the summoner advantage. So, Bwipo has missed that window. It doesn't mean he's doomed or anything like that, but, you know, it does mean he should likely wait for the next 45, 50 seconds, whatever it is, until that Flash is up.
It looks like 50 right here, so we'll wait that one out and see if he can keep up in farm until that happens. Keep in mind, he won the last game with a pretty big farm deficit and just took the matchup in the all-in, and it was just fine for him.
Yeah.
Pushing down. Turret damage not likely to be the winner in this one.
And the early game is going so much better. It's not as though he's been forced to kind of make a pit stop for the double Dorans or anything like that. The wave clear on Renekton is A, much safer, and B, much more powerful than it is on the Hecarim. You know, you can kind of dash in and clear it out with that
EQE
Q.
is going to work almost every time. Doing a lot of these long-range, edge of the radius Qs to catch a minion or so. It's a fairly short cooldown. He's got it back already, and minion waves keep getting pushed in. Uzi knows he has the cleanse. Bwipo about to have the flash back, and again, dives in. AoE, but this time can't get the caster, so 75 gold missing.
So this is going to tell us exactly what he's going for now. I think this next recall, you know, he should have BF gold for sure if he wants to go for that Shojin. Uzi's going to be in this 100%, so Bwipo likely won't go for it. And this turret is taking quite a bit of damage. You know, when it's getting this low, there is the potential of it actually looking like game number 1, but in goes Bwipo.
Goes for the ult, goes for big damage, lands the major stun. Ignite is on, and now Uzi got to try to slowly run his way back to the base. Bwipo's going to have his cooldowns back again, and there's not an easy way out. This is certainly has to be a kill. But how does Uzi kill him? Bwipo's got to get the chase down. The minions do the rest of the work and just walks him down the lane.
Really nicely done by Bwipo, getting on top of the mobility. So key here, but will he have flash for sudden death now? That's actually a pretty big deal. The ignite for Uzi, more likely to come back up. Bwipo will get a great recall here, multiple turret plates, so he's gonna have the itemization if he can get on top of Uzi. There is the potential. Uzi does have cleanse.
Yeah.
But, you know, both players...
This would be a really rich recall.
Yeah, it should be a tremendous amount of gold. I think this could be potentially just full Shojin. It probably will be. Let's see. Yep, there it is.
Item in. Turns it around. That's a big deal, of course. Has to wait for the ulti cooldown, but he'll have that in time.
Damn, that is a really good buy.
Yeah.
Shojin plus tabbies. So now you have the mobility, you have a little bit more tankiness, and you have the ability, when your ultimate comes back up, to have a combo with multiple stuns. And that is almost insurmountable for Uzi. If you get ulted on, you cleanse the first stun, and you get stunned again, I think the game is just done. So the ball feels like it is in Bwipo's court. I think that Uzi is going to have to find a way to make something happen before ultimate and the cooldowns come back up for Bwipo. If you get stuck in the Ring of Fire, it feels nigh unwinnable. I'm not sure you can 100-0 him, but if anyone could do it, it would be Uzi.
All right, Uzi starting with some of the poke, and he's going to go for some turret damage. And I start to think that maybe you really want to put the turret health in, because if you get that down to the last plate and the plates fall off, you have that little window.
That's probably his best chance. And you're scared now if you're Bwipo to actually recall, because you're worried about the turret health. And if you do not recall on this next wave, then you're going to be starting down HP. So that is kind of the avenue. They're going to go for it.
It's going in for this play. Again, this death wouldn't hurt Bwipo too badly. It's not sudden death just yet. Gets him anyway. Bwipo, the 1v1 champion, and stays with the LEC.
The king from the LEC, Bwipo, very well done, taking down the two-time 1v1 champion. It is the top laner here, Spear of Shojin Renekton, chasing down Uzi, knocking him down with 3 unique picks in the finals. He beat the Shy, he beat Uzi. This guy was a monster all tournament long, and he deserves it.
Absolutely deserves it. Bwipo, certainly one of my favorite players, maybe my single favorite LEC player. Couldn't have happened to a nicer man, I think. This is awesome. Grats, Bwipo. Took down Uzi, said, you know what? I'm going to think about your matchups. I'm going to figure out what's better against you. He was right. Got the melees in there. The fighters took down Varus. And for more from the new 1v1 champ, let's hand it down to Shox for an interview.
Here I am with your All-Star 2019 1v1 champion, Bwipo. Wow, congratulations. You took down Uzi. First up, how cool is it to take home this trophy here at All-Star?
Really cool. I'm really happy. I ordered the caps to make sure that the LEC kept the trophy home, so here we go.
We all appreciate it. So tell me about this best of 3 for Uzi, which is obviously very, very difficult. Specifically, the last game, your adaptations with the defensive summoners, with that last buy. Tell us all of it.
I think I realized that Barrier is a bit overpowered in the sense that most champions run out of gas. So I figured, yeah, Varus is like a high burst champion, and then he runs out of gas. So if I just Barrier most of his burst, I should be okay. And then I went back to my old strat. So Ornn going all in didn't work out. So I picked something that was a bit stronger all in.
Did you talk to him at all during the 1v1? I know usually you guys can.
He was dead silent. And after the second game, I was like, wow, he's really good at Varus. So even though I won the second one, I was like, wow, you're so good at Varus. But other than that, there was no words exchanged.
What can you give as a tip for people at home that want to beat their friends in 1v1s? Just Barrier or anything else?
Yeah, I think Barrier is actually one of the best ones for sure. And then just cheese. Like the Shoujin Renekton was a cheese I was holding for like the very end, and I figured, I can run back the Hecarim, but I feel like he might change it up. So I just decided to pull out my strongest strat, which was the Shoujin Renekton, because if people didn't read the patch notes, it's still on ARAM. So even though we're playing on 9.20, like the new patch, Shoujin was still in the game, so I could abuse it on Renekton.
And that was a great call by you. And I gotta say, what a day you've had. You won the TFT tournament, you won the 1v1 tournament, you won the showdown as well, Earth rather, on Silas. What's going on? What was in your breakfast, Bwipo?
Well, actually, I've been borrowing Mickey X's mousepad for the whole tournament, so maybe I gotta give him some credit, because I forgot mine at home. I'm sure my manager's face palming right now, but it's not the first time, but yeah, Mickey X up there, he borrowed me the mousepad.
All right, it's all in the mouse pad. I think you might just be a really good player as well, but hey, that's neither here nor there. Congratulations one more time for your 1v1 All-Star champion, Bwipo. Awesome, back over to you.
Thank you, Shocks. Well, blessed be